Here we are again, folks. Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. So proud to be with you this morning. We have been in Psalm 51. I'm going to read again for the sake of reading it again, not just for you, the audience that's outside of this computer, but for the audience that's sitting before it right now, which is myself. I cannot fathom the depth of the psalm without really getting into it. Have you ever let a bucket down into a well, flipped it over, took the string and flipped that bucket over? Usually if you drop it straight down, it'll float. And you hear it smack the water and it will float. But you have to take the string and flip it over. Or you can drop the bucket upside down, and when it hits the water, it'll go poof, and the air will go out of it and it'll sink. You can pull up a bucket of water. But what we used to do when I was younger is I'd drop that bucket, and after it got in the water, I'd let it down another 10 feet. And then I'd pull it up and down, jerk it up and down, and that would empty the water that was off the top of the well out of the bucket down there at 10 feet lower. And when I pulled it up, it'd be ice cold, clean, fresh water from down deep in the well. And it would be better water than the surface water. And many Christians live on the surface. And because they live on the surface, they live to where they have to call continually, asking forgiveness and calling on the Lord and saying, I've had a miserable day, hard day, I've had this, I've had that, I've had these problems. Help me, Lord, overcome these things and get through them and not do them anymore. Help me not to blow up and my temper be mad. Help me not to be a mad driver or a furious driver. Help me not to allow the red lights to bother me, but help me to meditate. You know, I have learned at a red light to meditate so long that I'd be meditating on the Lord and the light would turn green, the guy behind me blow his horn. Well, at that point, now I've got to deal with something else called road rage because the guy blew his horn. I think the light just turned green, but lo and behold, the light had been almost green until it was almost red again, and I was meditating. So meditate on the Lord, and the Lord will keep you happy. But let me read this psalm. Listen, have mercy on me, O Lord, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity. Cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgression, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide thy face from my sin, and blot out my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. All the things I just read are in Psalm chapter 51, and we're in verse 10. All of these things can be your request this morning or today, and God will hear it if you pray it from your heart and mean it. If you'll say first, I am a sinner. Jesus, forgive me of my sin. Come in my heart and cleanse my soul. Save my soul. Help me to follow you the rest of the days of my life. Take this Psalm 51, make it your psalm, and listen to it. The psalm just before this one that you need to apply to yourself and put in your heart and your head is Psalm 23. Now that the Lord is your shepherd, Psalm 23 can be your psalm. Before the Lord was your shepherd, it could be words that you knew, but not be true. And so, now, create in me, he's verse 11, cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thine Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold with thy free spirit. Then I will search transgressions of thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee. I'm here to tell you, my friend, if we will walk circumspectly to God, sinners will be saved. 14. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O God, thou God of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of thy righteousness. O Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall show forth thy praise. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it. But thou desirest not burnt offering. The sacrifice of God, a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifice of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offerings. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar. What he's saying here is you give yourself first to God. Body, soul, and spirit. Say, Lord, my daylight and my nighttime and my all in all and my life is going to be given to you every minute, every second, every minute, every hour of the day. Would you take it? Would you use it? Would you help me? Would you help me follow through? I'm going to tell you, the minutes that we waste, and we waste them all the time, could be sin by wasting those minutes. If we're sitting in front of a television, wasting those minutes when we could be sitting in front of a Bible, putting those minutes in the Bible back, piling up those minutes in heaven for eternity. I'm afraid that we may get to heaven and find these long stretches of blank spaces where there's nothing.